In the BIU's latest podcast interview, Linn Gustafsson, Anti-Doping Coordinator for Anti-Doping Sweden, and Lucie Rothauer, the BIU's own Prevention Manager, discuss a typical cooperation and coordination programme between the BIU and a national anti-doping organisation. I'm Callum Murray. Join me and my guests to understand more about how the BIU works with its partners in the fight against doping in biathlon. So, welcome to both of you to this podcast interview on the cooperation between the BIU and NADOs. I wanted to start by asking you both about the competencies of a NADO and how they compare with those of an international body such as the BIU. Linn, could I start with you? Maybe you could explain briefly the competencies of a NADO.
Yeah, for the NADO part, it's more to have a national perspective on things, getting to know the athletes within the country and what is going on within the country. And I would guess that, or it is, the international federation is more keeping track on all of the athletes, despite less what country they are competing for.
Yes, Lucie, so how does that compare with the BIU's remit?
Well, as Linn said, for them is to have a good overview of their own country and across different sports. And for us is to have an overview of our sport worldwide, so cross borders and take care of our community. And then in our cooperation, we try to complement each other and exchange our opinions and approaches.
So can we go into a bit more detail about what form that cooperation takes? Linn, starting with you.
Yeah, we do coordinate testing plans and also the TDP, the test distribution plan, but also which athlete who is taking part of the RTP athletes or not, to have a coordination and to have a common sight of who's included or not, but also discussing if we have information, we do discuss it with each other also.
And still with you, Linn, is that common to all sports? Do you have a similar relationship with other federations or other integrity units?
Yes, we have. So we try to, as a national federation, to have a good cooperation with the international federations, to have the best plan as possible, because we are, in the end, the aim is to reach or to catch the one we want to, despite less country or international federation. So try to find those who potential cheating.
So Lucie, how do you view the way in which the two organizations cooperate?
Yeah, very much the same way. We do coordinate our testing plans also to avoid unnecessary double testing, or coordinate test plans so that we can reach together the goals we want to reach. And at the end of the day, as Linn said, we all have the same goal. So cooperation and collaboration is key.
Still with you, Lucie. So what are the benefits of cooperating? What would you miss if you weren't cooperating with organizations such as Linn's?
Well, we would miss their knowledge, their country-specific knowledge. And that's from the intelligence point of view, information point of view. But then it's also cost effective to coordinate testing, because we don't need to spend, I don't know how much money on unsuspicious athletes, where we could spend the money on other athletes and where we think there might be a suspicion or a danger of doping going on. So that's where we would try to use our money, our budget as effectively as possible.
That's interesting. So Linn, it sounds like you're discussing coordinating on intelligence as well. So you might have intelligence about an athlete that Lucie might not have, or vice versa.
Yeah, that could absolutely happen. And it's really important to both organizations, I would say, to have the common knowledge and to coordinate in those cases.
Linn, still with you. How often do you meet with Lucie or others from the BIU, and what sort of topics might you discuss in those meetings?
We don't meet in particular that often personally, but through the data way or the internet, Teams meeting and so on, quite often, and maybe once a month at least. But then it's coordinating by emails and other ways also. and discussion, the topics can be different and a little bit depending on what time of the year it is. If it's the time of the year to finalize the RTP lists, that is a high topic in that period of the year. But then mostly test planning and coordinating tests.
And also when it comes to in-competition testing, we do use the NADOs in the respective countries where our competitions are happening. So we need to coordinate this testing also. And we have really great partners out there in all different countries who we can collaborate with and who we can rely on when it comes to testing at our events.
And Lucie, what about ADAMS? How do you cooperate over that?
Well, ADAMS is like the clearinghouse of all anti-doping related or testing related issues. So we have the same access, Linn or the Swedish NADO, see the Swedish biathletes, and we see the Swedish biathletes in the same way. The athletes profile, their testing, their passports, and so on. So that's the one tool we work on together, where we share our data in connection to testing and test planning and whereabouts.
Yes, I was about to mention whereabouts. So do you coordinate over whereabouts as well? Lucie?
Yeah, of course. The athletes put their whereabouts into the system. We do see them, and also whereabouts failures are added together. So no matter where the athlete has the whereabout failure, like at the national test or international test, this is all added together in this period of 12 months. So the cooperation is going on there as well.
Linn, did you want to add anything about ADAMS?
Yes, that we are seeing the Swedish athletes. We are not seeing the athletes from other countries. So we are looking mainly or only on the Swedish athletes. And then we have the International Federation on our side also to discuss and to check on the international level athletes. So that's really, really helpful when test planning.
And Lucie, are there cooperation opportunities as well in the field of education?
Yes, there are. We do cooperate both on our social media channels with different NADOs, but then also we like to cooperate with them when we deliver outreach programs at our events. So that's often done then by the NADO from that country, an information booth for the athletes where they can come and inform themselves about basic anti-doping education, which is often done in the younger age groups, where it's important to educate the athletes. And we also, the NADOs themselves, they educate the athletes. They would go to a training camp of the national team and have a session with the athletes there.
Final question for both of you, maybe Linn first. Can you foresee other cooperation possibilities in the future?
What else is out there? Not a particular topic, I would say, but still to continue to coordinate our goals and our plans and to take it perhaps a step further in the area we already coordinate with each other.
Yeah, that's maybe a further platform where we can share intelligence information on, other than what's shared on ADAMS in relation to anti-doping, when it comes to the athletes, where they are training, how they are training, the training venues and so on, whether we can find any connections across nations.
Great. Really good to hear about the cooperation between the two of you. And Lucie, obviously the BIU is cooperating similarly with other national anti-doping organizations.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is just an example of our cooperation with all most of the NADOs of countries where athletes are starting in our competitions. So that's what we try to establish with every NADO out there.
Thank you very much, both of you, for a really interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.